It's the largest digital art display in the world, and it's cool. They rotate out artists on a regular basis, so every a few weeks or so there'll be a new show playing. And I say certain nights because I'm not positive of the schedule right now. I want to say it's Thursday through Sunday night, 8:30 maybe p.m., 8:30 to 9 or something. But you can double check at artonmart.com. Can't forget a name like that. But it's kind of fun if you're in the area looking for something to walk by and actually asymmetrical. And that's because there's 5 bays of windows to the left of the clock tower. Then we got 6 bays of windows to the right of the clock. So this building was originally symmetrical when it first went up in 1914, but then 1930 they widened LaSalle Street back there in accordance with Daniel Burnham's plan for the city, and just kind of chopped off part of that side of the building, sealed it on up, put it back together. I don't think I would have ever noticed if someone didn't point it out. Turning to the right-hand side, check out this short, stocky building above Tiny Tap. 55 West Wacker, built in the later 1960s, and great example of brutalism style architecture. So it's made with heavy, raw industrial materials, small dark windows, concrete. Brutalist architects love themselves some concrete, and oftentimes you find brutalist architecture used in government buildings, prisons, etc. Kind of gives off this almost like hostile, foreboding vibe, at least to me. But in contrast, that kind of rough, brutalist style. Ahead of us, kind of on the right, behind the Morton's the Steakhouse sign, there's this skinny emerald green color building with gold roofs and a blue finger. Again, behind the Morton's the Steakhouse sign, that is the Carbide and Carbon building, 1929. And it's kind of like a metaphor for the lavish decor of the Roaring '20s in Chicago, because these guys insisted, they were adamant that they had to use real 24-karat gold up at the top. So it is. However, it's roughly half the thickness of a piece of saran wrap. So it is real gold, just super thin. And this was built by the Burnham brothers, the sons of Mr. Daniel Burnham. They built it at the height of Prohibition, or the era in the United States when alcohol was illegal, though it's still pretty heavily consumed in Chicago. But anyways, in honor of Prohibition, the Burnham boys thought it'd be fun to shake the building to kind of a fake champagne bubble, but that was indeed the intention. Okay, so I mentioned the indigenous tribes originally on this land, right? We did eventually get some non-native settlers here, obviously. And the first of those, our first non-native settler, was a man by the name of Jean-Baptiste Pondusable. Ahead of us, we have DuSable Bridge, which is named after him. It was the first bridge we went under today. And Jean-Baptiste Pondusable is a Haitian Creole immigrant. He arrived in Chicago via New Orleans in the 1770s, just came up the Mississippi, married a Potawatomi chief's daughter, smart move, And together, him and Chief set up a little trading post just ahead of us on the left where the Apple store is now. So essentially like right where we boarded the boat. But he's considered the father, the founder of Chicago. So you'll notice a number of things named after Mr. DuSable. Also a statue of him at the end of DuSable Bridge up there on the north side. And then ahead of us on the left, coming into view behind the Wrigley, this ornate cathedral-looking building. Got the Chicago Tribune Tower, 1925. And the newspaper, the Trib, held this international competition seeking the most beautiful office building in the world. So they got tons of submissions from all over the world. This was the winning design. This was deemed most beautiful. And it's built in a French Gothic Revival style. The building's crown is modeled after a 13th century cathedral in Normandy, France. And what I think is really cool about the Trib Tower is at the base of the building, so like the first floor exterior wall, embedded in the wall, they have like 150 stones that their journalists collected from famous historical landmarks around the world. So there's like a bit of the Great Wall of China, Notre Dame Cathedral, the Taj Mahal, the Alamo, etc. Which is cool because when else are you going to get a chance to touch all those in the same city? And then right here on the left is where our boy Jean-Baptiste DuSable had his trading post back in the day. Today we got a modern day trading post, Chicago flagship Apple store. I love how simple they kept it, and I love how the roof kind of looks like an iPad, which apparently was not intentional, just a fun little coincidence. Switching over from Apple to Peacock, coming up on the left, we got the NBC Tower. And if we're looking at this NBC Tower, try to guess what style of architecture it's in, based on all we've learned today. Well, right away I'm seeing the limestone coloring, right? Those vertical lines. I'm feeling pretty confident it's got to be Art Deco, right? But this guy's a little tricky, a little sneaky. This NBC Tower is actually modeled after 30 Rockefeller Plaza, which is an Art Deco building in New York City, built in 1930. This building, though, wasn't built until 1989. So, as such, it's designed in a style we call Eco Deco, which is very fun to say. Indigo, Eco Deco. Also, fun fact: Jerry Springer show was filmed there. A little bit of Steve Harvey as well. And this was designed by the same architect, Adrian Smith, who did the Trump Tower. And just so you know what we're doing, we're heading out towards the lake. We'll do a little turnaround there, look at the skyline before we head back into the dock. But as we head up that way, coming up on the right, you see this curvy column blue glass skyscraper that's made up of these 4 towers of increasing height stacked together. Kind of looks like something out of an urban Dr. Seuss book. So this curvy little building on the right is the St. Regis, kind of a newer addition to our skyline. Although it's newer, I think the St. Regis is like so prominent on the skyline now because it has such a unique shape, really unique coloring. Also, this is now the 3rd tallest building in Chicago. But more importantly, this is the tallest building in the world designed by a woman architect. Relax, calm down. No, Jeannie Gang's super cool. She's from the Chicago area, brilliant architect. She kind of recently won the bid to do O'Hare Airport's $8.5 million renovation of their international